Veganism, Not Just a Diet, Part 2. If you haven't watched Part 1, please do, but I'm going to jump right back on board with what I ended with in the last video. Cow's milk is made for cows who have completely different dietary needs from us. It is the primary cause of food allergies, and drinking it causes lactose intolerance because it is unnecessary for the human body. Lactose intolerance causes more negative impacts on our bodies, but if that's not enough, humans naturally get calcium from what they are structured to eat, and drinking milk can actually increase your risk of breaking bones, contrary to what milk companies advertise. And protein is also taken in naturally from other kinds of foods that the human species is supposed to eat. This means that eggs are also unnecessary parts of people's diets, especially considering all that happens to chickens for one single omelet or egg salad. Chickens are arguably the most abused animal on Earth. Hens and chicks' beaks are mutilated, and dehydration is common in egg factories. Living conditions are horrid, with small battery cages that cramp birds together, forcing them to release their waste on each other. Their entire life is manipulated, and since male chicks are worthless, factories sometimes suffocate them but quite often choose to put them in grinders. And once a hen's body is exerted to produce eggs, they are sent for slaughter where their lives are taken after suffering for their entire life. Now, for many vegans, honey is a sticky situation, no pun intended, but this kind of animal product is still animal abuse. Bees make honey for one reason, their own food, and the claims that they make enough for themselves or that they create extra is the same thing as the idea of communism. Although honey producers want honey to seem like a byproduct of natural pollination, bees are exploited and cannot live how they want to. Bees are tricked into laying more eggs than natural, and the natural system of bees that leads to a separation of a hive, like a child leaving parents to live their own life, is restricted by beekeepers who clip the queen bee's wings to prevent it from happening. Honey is still animal abuse, although some people who think they are vegan claim otherwise. While it used to be natural, it is now a factory-farmed product. Meat and those three kinds of animal products for food are the main kinds, but there are many others to look out for. You can do your own research to find out more. But like I said before, veganism is not a diet, it is a way of life. Wearing something made from animals or using a product that resulted in animal exploitation is something you should avoid as a vegan. In terms of clothing, silk is created from mass-produced silkworms who are boiled in their pupa stage of life. By wearing this, you are literally wearing a dead bug's remains. Down typically comes from slaughtered geese and ducks, and when the birds have their feathers painfully plucked after being boiled alive, they get severe stress as well. Leather can come from a variety of animals like dogs and cats, all of which are abused growing up, and it isn't always something reused from the meat industry of cows. Additionally, its production leads to pollution from all the toxins it needs for color and feel. The worst part is there are artificial replacements for all of these that look and feel the same, but people want to have the actual products because they view it as a symbol of social status. If you are worried that going vegan will give you a vitamin deficiency or less protein, you have been mistaken by various myths. Veganism is actually extremely beneficial to health. This is because our bodies are not adapted to eat animals or animal products. Early humans were not hunters and gatherers because they needed a food source that they could depend on. Meat was a luxury, but plants were something that sustained them for generations, giving them all the essential things they needed. Keep in mind that what you eat still matters, and as long as something is vegan, it does not mean it is healthy, but the same applies to meat eaters' diets. However, veganism is lower in cholesterol and saturated fat, and it reduces high blood pressure. Meat has higher cholesterol, and that results in heart attacks and other cardiovascular disease. Going vegan can help reduce previous negative effects of eating animal products because of the high amount of fiber in vegan food. This leads to a lower risk in chronic diseases and healthier gut microbiomes that also affect the brain's health. Meat and dairy can also cause diabetes, as well as various different kinds of cancers. So, if you are worried about getting some kind of health condition, you will be perfectly fine and probably lower your risk of a disease like the ones I mentioned before. That's my stopping point for part 2 of this video, but you can click here to watch part 3 or part 1 if you haven't watched that for some reason yet. If you have any questions, disagree with anything I've said, or would like to share your opinion, reach out by commenting on this video. Thanks for watching!